moving on to a topic that's been very much in the political news this week. That's very much, I think, adjacent to our previous conversation. Let's talk about how one word has upended the presidential election and the political party system in this country, and that word is weird.
I don't think Kamala Harris is going to pick anyone as weird and creepy as J.D. Vance.
Frankly, J.D. Vance, just dumb Vance, is pretty weird.
It's not just a weird style that he brings. It's that this leads to weird policies.
They're just weird.
Donald Trump and his weirdo running mate.
More extreme, more weird, more erratic.
The agenda, the way they talk to people, the way they address people, it is bizarre. It's weird. It is weird.
Well, it's just plain weird.
And this is the word that the Democrats have sort of gelled on as being their pitch for re-election. And it's Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and the Republican Party in general are weird. Now, I will say that this comes sort of congruent with, I think, the now thoroughly dead horse of J.D. Vance fucking a couch, which is like, look, I enjoy him being humiliated, but there's something that felt a little bit forced about that, or it just wasn't all that funny to me. Because, like, there are so many other things about J.D. Vance that are true, and just, like, you know, like the way he looks, the way he sounds, and the things he says, whereas, like, the couch fucking thing, it struck me as trying a little too hard. But that being said, the right wing they're pressed right now by being called weird. And you're seeing it in some of the reactions to being called weird that I want to highlight here. There's a couple ones. Felix, I know you saw this one. This was one JD defender who said, at JD Vance should go on the offense and double down in response to the couch trolling. He should tweet out something like, "What a great day to be a handsome, successful white man," or "All my enemies are ugly. Crazy how that happens." Then watch his critics go insane.
Yeah, he should thank the Democrats for all the views. He should say that he's He should say that he's showing this to his niece and she thinks it's funny too. He should say that a stranger gave him an award for how cool his jacket was. Yeah. I've enjoyed I like all the responses that are like, oh yeah, we're weird. Look at these 10 terabytes of trans photos I've saved on my phone that I'm now pulling out. Look at how I've deleted every photo of everyone I've ever known and replaced it with like a screenshot of like a trans TikTok.
If I'm weird, why did I teach myself how to reverse bottom surgery by hand? Why did I learn all the steps so I could offer it to people?
But to the weird comment in particular, we got Vivek Ramaswamy saying, "This whole they're weird argument from the Democrats is dumb and juvenile. This is a presidential election, not a high school prom queen contest. It's also a tad ironic coming from the party that preaches diversity and inclusion. Win on policy if you can, but cut the crap, please."
They don't need to respond to this shit.
Yeah.
Like they're just taking like nobody in real life knows about this. They don't care. And if you said that to them, like, aren't the Republicans so weird? They'll be like, yeah, I don't know, man. It just seems so crazy because 2 weeks ago, the president was Joe Biden, or he still is the president. The president is straight up fucking senile and probably had a stroke. And he can't even get into a car without falling over. And then he had 2 dogs that they had killed. And then his top advisor, who's telling him not to drop out, even though he was senile until a week ago, is his crackhead son, who's a convicted felon and has like 10 million nude pictures of himself on the internet. So like, it's like a week out from that. So I don't know if like the weird thing is going to fly.
Well, but like, I mean, it's flying in so much as like you're saying that they're rising to the debate and being like, I'm absolutely not weird. And by the way,
there's no way to respond to it.
Yeah. And there's a couple of things here. I really like that a line that I've seen a couple times where they're just like when people talk about how J.D. Vance is like cratering favorability numbers, or particularly like how bad he's doing with suburban women, which is something that they really need to win this election. And I've seen a number of responses saying they're just admitting that this election is a popularity contest. And it's just like, well, whereas like, as opposed to what? Like, yeah, it is a contest to see what person America likes more than the other guy, which is essentially a popularity contest. And if you want to have a debate on policy, go ahead. But it's not going to help you in the you're weird department, because the policy is like, we need to prevent George Soros from flying black women to get abortions in California.
It's weird that he said that to Amy Therese, because didn't Amy Therese come out in support of abortion for that reason? Like, we don't need, I think she said something about like, we don't need any more Shaniquas on welfare or something like that.
Oh my God.
When the Roe v. Wade thing happened. So like, I don't even, I'm not going to go listen to that podcast, but I wonder what they were talking about, because it seems like they're on polar opposite sides of that.
Here's another one from Helen Andrews of the American Conservative magazine. Calling people weird is such feminine behavior. Textbook sex difference. Men engage in open conflict. Women police conformity. It's honestly disorienting to hear male politicians use the line.
Well, the candidate's a woman, so I don't think it's that big of a deal if there's feminine energy coming from the campaign. Like,
I think he's talking about Tim Walz. Because Tim Walz, the Minnesota governor, he was the guy who sort of coined got their weird ball rolling. And this is a really good one that I saw just before coming online. There was a guy who said here, like, he was like, the sophisticated wordsmiths have come up with the word to defeat Trump, and it's weird. And now all the NPCs are using it. I saw the idea that it's like, this is a sophisticated wordsmith technology that they're employing. They're using adjectives like weird to brainwash the masses into thinking that the Republicans
was that the guy? I thought this was funny. This guy who said it, he was replying to Helen Andrews, appears to be some type of Jewish magician.
Yeah, that was him.
Yeah. He's a self-built psychic who's also like a Orthodox Jew.
This is he bills himself as the premier psychic of our day.
Yeah, well, like, that's not allowed. God's against God defeated a lot of magicians in in the Tanakh. I don't know what you think you're doing there, buddy. But I mean, clearly he thinks words are psychic powers and magic.
Yeah, he says here, they all started calling them weird at once. It was obviously planned, cooked up by a sophisticated wordsmith, and then distributed by their network. I mean, he's just talking about it. Like, once again, he's just talking about a presidential campaign where one side attempts to define the other negatively in competition in essentially a popularity contest among the American people.
Right. It's the same thing as like the whole like current thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thing, where it's like, oh my God, events are happening. This is the same thing where it's like, wait, you're telling me that a party and their allies in the media have a line of attack? Oh, that's really scary.
Yeah, like, where's
that's
the conspiracy?
Insane. You're living in Independence Day.
There's a PR campaign coming down from the Kamala campaign, and then people on Twitter are getting too excited about it. People are getting a little high on their own supply. That's about it. There isn't really, there's nothing nefarious going on, but they do look weird trying to come up with a conspiracy about it instead of just saying, like, is this all they got?
Right. I mean, it's like the same problem that they have with like the voter fraud stuff. They previously like had some success, like, you know, with the policy goal of all that, which is to like, you know, keep more people from voting, especially like demographics that typically did not skew Republican. But they did that by, the normal like Lee Atwater stuff. That's also bad, obviously, but like it has some purchase in American politics, as opposed to like, now where it's like, we're going to have Mike Lindell make a 12-hour movie about how they Chinesed up the voting process.
Yeah, they do both of those at once. Like, they actually put in policies in Georgia to keep Democrats from voting, but then also you've still got the apparatus saying, like, we got to look at the data from 2020. We got to pull it up. We got to look at the Chinese characters in there.
Yeah.